Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those that are new, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. And for those that have been rocking with me for a while, thank you so much. I highly appreciate each and every one of you. Please continue to tell a friend and tell a friend so that we can continue to grow this community and further educate each other. Today, I will actually be talking about a couple of frugal ways to go about saving money. A lot of times I will come across similar content. However, I hate to say this, but the creator, they're lacking creativity. They will just go down a boring list of different ways to go about saving money, which I hate to say kind of seems like common sense, although I understand that common sense is not always common, but nonetheless, they're not really piquing one's interest to want to go about exploring these types of ways to go about saving money. Realistically, we all know different ways to go about saving money. However, what I would like to do today is just kind of bring a couple of things to your attention, and then in turn, maybe you will actually have some form of interest in exploring these options. So first and foremost, I think that this is a major thing, and this is something that I'm getting a little bit better on, I will say. However, it's the fact of eating at home, cooking from home, dining out less, if you will, because we all know that, A, that's expensive. Typically you're paying for the experience, and sometimes the experience is not all that great, whether it be poor customer service, whether the establishment's not the cleanest, whether, the food quality is not really that great. And then in turn, you don't even enjoy your meals. Whereas if you would have cooked it at home, you would have enjoyed your meal thoroughly. A lot of times people will want to opt out of eating at home, whether it be, oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I don't know how to cook. Oh, it tastes better when I order it from this place or when so-and-so makes it. Those are realistically just all excuses. Come on, let's just be honest. Those are all excuses. Some things I want to bring to your attention is the fact that whenever you eat from home, that's realistically the best thing for you on the scale of thinking about the cleanliness of your environment. You know the cleanliness of your environment compared to that establishment. Sometimes we will assume, okay, I'm eating at a restaurant, the kitchen has to be clean, the cooks have to be clean. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there without disclosing too much personal information. I've worked in a couple of restaurants, and that is not always the case, okay? Just because you think from what you're seeing is a clean establishment, you do not have a tour of that kitchen. You don't know the cleanliness of the kitchen. You don't know if there's any kind of bugs roaming around or anything of that nature. Whereas you know the cleanliness of your environment as well as your own personal hygiene, right? Another thing is whenever you do decide to eat at home, you know the actual ingredients within the foods and beverages that you're consuming. So you don't have to go about asking the server, oh, does this contain this? Does it contain that? If I don't want this, can I substitute it for that? You don't have to worry about any of that. You have complete control over everything, quality control, right? In turn, you can control the readiness. If your food, like if you, for example, let's say you eat steak, and let's say you want it well done, and however it doesn't come out well done, and then you complain to the server, and then they get an attitude, and then the cooks get an attitude. You don't have to worry about that, because when you cook from home, you have complete control over everything, right? So I think that is something that we should actually consider more often, right? The fact that we have control over our personal hygiene, our environment, as well as the ingredients that we're consuming. Another reason that I think eating from home can be a cool, frugal way to go about saving money is if you actually make fun out of the activity. If you make it a fun activity, whether you're doing this by yourself, whether you're listening to music, you might have a little bit of wine or whatever, just to kind of make it more fun. Or you could be doing these types of activities, cooking and baking from home with family members and friends. Another cool thing is, let's say you had the taste for like a buffet style type meal. What you can do is have everyone, prepare their own dishes with their own recipes or recipes that they find online. Then in turn, everybody can actually have the different dishes scattered around the kitchen, whether it be on the table or the counters or however. And then in turn, you'll have that buffet style and everything was made from scratch. So that's a cool way to actually go about, having that restaurant experience, however, from home. And personally, for myself, whenever I actually cook and bake, it is a coping mechanism. It can be very therapeutic. So, this is another reason why I think that more people should actually explore this option, because who knows, maybe this is your niche and you didn't even know, or it could be the matter of it can be very relaxing for yourself after a long day compared to, ordering out or dining out, if you will, and then kind of just being frustrated with the fact that your food wasn't up to par of your liking. Another great frugal way that you can go about saving money, and I think that you can get very creative with these ideas, is instead of going out to nightclubs and lounges, what you can do is have your friends and family over, right? In turn, you can have control over the lighting and the music, which we know light and sound waves coincide with energy. And then in turn, you can go about serving appetizers. Everybody can create a signature drink and serve it to one another. And that can be very fun, okay? And in turn, you don't have to pay anything at the door. You don't have to worry about people getting drunk and obnoxious, people bothering you. You can really thoroughly enjoy the experience, right, with your friends and family, is that's the intended purpose whenever you're going out to these lounges and nightclubs. However, just because everyone within your circle may have some form of control does not mean that outside people actually do, and then in turn they can actually interfere with you having a great time. Another great creative way to go about saving money is, instead of spending so much money at the movie theaters, or you're paying so much for a movie ticket, and let's not even get started on the food and beverages served at movie theaters, you can host a movie night at home. Whether you have a projector, whether you just have that nice large flat screen TV, or whatever the case may be, you can actually go about creating a theme, whether this be categorized by the types of movies where, whether it be a horror film or you're doing like a comedy night or whatever, or you can actually, pay homage or dedication to a particular actor or actress by playing different movies that they starred in. And that's the great thing about it too. A lot of times whenever you may go out to a movie with friends and family, once that movie is over and, the average time is maybe an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours long, you might grab a bite to eat and then the night's over. Whereas if you're doing this at home, you can stream movie after movie after movie. In turn, you can have control over the homemade popcorn that you're actually popping at home, having control over that butter and that salt. You have control over the comfortability, if you will. Everyone can have like blankets and pillows. You can be as loud as you want, as quiet as you want. And to spike things up, you can have adult beverages and food items as well, just to kind of make it a little bit more fun. But in turn, the night doesn't have to end. You can carry on as long as you would like with your friends and family whenever you host a movie night at home. And again, like I said, you have control over everything, right? So you don't have to worry about people telling you to keep it down. You don't have to worry about people acting crazy. We all have read different news articles where people may go to a movie theater and, I'm just going to say, pop out. They might, do some crazy things, whereas you have more control at home compared to whenever you're actually going out into the physical public, right? So I think that these are actually fun, creative ways to go about saving money. Another great way I think that everyone can go about spending a little less is revamping your old clothing. Sometimes we might outgrow things, or we just no longer have an interest in things. For instance, you may have once had like an obsession with plaid. However, now you're into more floral prints or animal prints. Whenever you revamp your old clothing, you're going about saving money by getting a couple of more uses out of those articles of clothing, as well as looking from the perspective of spending money on new clothes. So you can go about, adding different stitching, removing sleeves, adding new sleeves, adding buttons, zippers, fabric paint, whatever. You can really be completely creative with it. And let's say, just for instance, you don't even like your creation, or you only get a couple more wears or uses out of these pieces of clothing. You may have someone that very well may actually want to buy these revamped pieces of clothing from you, due to the fact that they're one of a million. They're very unique. So not only in turn would you be saving money, but you can go about making a little bit of money possibly. So I just think that these are some great creative ways to go about saving money. I most definitely, appreciate each and every one of you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that so that you guys are aware of any time that I'm actually uploading new content for each and every one of you. I most definitely appreciate each and every one of you. And of course, until next time, please remain on your grind.